Yo, what's goody, Latrell in a hoodie, and welcome to another episode of the Brother Next Door podcast, where we talk about finance, personal development, and skills to get you further in life through actionable steps and our own personal experiences. In this episode, we're talking about the future. We're talking about future jobs, some future-proof jobs that are already here, and just some jobs to look forward to in the future. So if you're thinking about doing a career change or you don't know what to do, then this is the episode for you. In this episode, I did a little bit of research on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, as well as be on IBM's website, as well as YouTube. Like I do my research across many different platforms rather than just sticking to one. So some of these numbers might be skewed. You go look it up and it's like this ain't even close. Well, some statistics are going to be a little off data, source to source. So definitely keep that in mind when you do your own research. But I'm definitely going to provide my sources. That way y'all know where I got my information from. And then we can just, go from there. So let's get it. Let's get it. The Bureau of Labor Statistics. One thing I found as far as where jobs are headed, or some future jobs to be looking looking at, if you're wanting to do a job change, or if you're wanting to figure out what you want to do. I think these are some great jobs to look at and consider. The very first one being wind turbine service technician, nurse practitioners, data scientists, and then information security analyst, right? So these are the top four from 2022 all the way to 2032. They're expecting that these will be the fastest growing jobs. And some of the wages, or all of the wages for these jobs, for as far as wind turbine service technician, is 57,000. As far as nurse practitioners, is 121,000. Data scientists, 103,000. Mug almost looked like 10,000. I was like, nah, that's way up. 103,000. And then information security analyst is 112,000. Just don't get too wrapped up in the wages. I just wanted to give y'all a general idea of, where the wage is. But the most important thing is that you're doing something that will get you get you through your life, right? If it's something you enjoy, great, keep doing it, whatever. But at the end of the day, you do want some level of job security. Not There's very, very few jobs, if any, that are 100% secure, right? And so you want to up those odds, up that percentage as much as you possibly can by putting yourself in the position to have a job that will last the long run. Now we're not talking about AI taking over, because I personally don't believe AI is just going to take over and completely just demolish whole sectors, or completely demolish entire fields. Will it take a couple of jobs away? Yeah, I I I truly do believe that there are some jobs where AI could probably do a better job, be more efficient and more cost effective for businesses. But I don't think it's going to just completely wipe out an entire sector in the job market. I think your outlook on AI should be, and how you should view AI. I ain't gonna tell you how to do your thing. Do your thing, right? View things how you want to view things, but how I view I think it's more of a tool that we should utilize and collaborate with, right? I've said this on the podcast before. I utilize AI to help me with the podcasting, with research, with different things, with school. And so it's not something that I'm 1,000% relying on. It's not something where it's give me all the answers to my homework, my test. It's not something where it's okay, what's it called? Chat GPT, come up with the um top five jobs in the next 10 years. And then I just write those down. Like, no, like do that. Get like get get the information from it that you can, but also cross reference that information with other information in on Google or wherever you do your research. Because yes, it's an algorithm. Yes, it's supposed to come up with the best solution for the problem you're asking. But the problem with ChatGPT, and I know I'm getting off track, and I'm gonna get back on track. But the problem with ChatGPT specifically is if you're bad at doing prompts with ChatGPT, then it's going to give you a very vague and very vague answer, right? So the more specific you can be, the more you know what ChatGPT is looking for when you're asking it questions, the better responses you're going to get. If you just say, "Hey, find me great jobs in the next 20 years," that's a very vague. What type of jobs? Very lucrative jobs or just jobs in general? And so, like, you got to take all these different things into consideration when it comes to asking AI these types of questions. So definitely keep that in mind when it comes to AI, because I know that's a big topic around future jobs and the job market. Is AI taking over? Is my job like just just take a second and think, like, can a computer, can a software do my job just as good or better than I can do it, right? And the answer is no, then you probably gonna be all right, right? Next, most new jobs. So the next category was most new jobs, and it was in home health slash personal care, software developers, cooks, stockers slash order fillers, and registered nurses. So there they come up once again. Oh, well, you got nurse practitioners, and then for this list is registered nurses. But nurses are on the rise, so definitely don't sleep on it. Don't think it's just women coming out here being nurses. No, you can be a nurse as well. So definitely don't sleep on that. Um, Home health and personal care. I can see that a lot of people are getting away from the retirement homes and all that stuff. Like, even like my neighbor, like he doesn't have somebody help him at the house, but like he got his own what's it called? He went to a little community uh up the street, and like they got a whole senior living community out there, and everybody's living in their own houses. It's gated community, got their own golf course, doing their own thing, and so definitely take that in consideration. Uh, Working at the crib, or well, working at somebody else's crib, right? Helping them out. Software developers, yes, tech is on the rise, obviously. So definitely riding that tech wave. If you really don't know what to do, like that's an option. Is it stressful? Yes. Is there a lot going on with it? Yes. But do they compensate you for it? 1,000%. So is all the stress, like I said, 127K, or I didn't say these numbers. So health slash personal care aides, they're getting 30K a year. Software developers are getting 127K. Cooks are getting 34K. Stocks and order fillers are getting 34K. And then registered nurses are getting 81K. Um, so software developers, 127K. Understand, yeah, the pay's good. Understand, yeah, you can make a lot of money from it. Yes, you're going to see those jobs in the future and possibly even grow in the future. They will be growing in the future, but understand, what can you handle? Like, you as a person, like, you take a second, understand who you are. Can you handle that much stress? Can you handle staring at computers all day? Can you handle whatever the job may require? So definitely take this stuff into consideration. Dealing with elderly people. Are you the type of person with patience? Can you deal with people snapping back at you? Can you deal with doing all these different things for other people? So, and I should have said that from the jump, but definitely take these things into consideration when you're looking at job, whether it's a job in your field, whether it's one of these jobs I'm mentioning, whatever. Like, don't think money first. Yes, money's great. Yes, money you need it. Yes, is how you do any and everything, but is what you're doing for it worth it, right? Because at the end of the day, it's about your happiness and your mental health, right? So definitely think about that. Cooks aren't cooks aren't going anywhere. Man, we gotta eat. We gotta eat good too, right? And so cooks, restaurant cooks, personal chefs, they're not they're not going anywhere. So that's definitely a route to take. Is the pay good? No, but the job ain't going nowhere. People, like I said, people got to eat, so that's an option. Stockers, order fillers. You've everybody's seen this over the past couple years. A lot more people are stocking shelves. A lot more people, and even more people, are starting to fulfill orders. Right, and what I mean by that is you see these people with these carts, whether it's at Target or any of these other nicer even Walmart does it. What am I talking about? But they'll go around with these carts and pick out the stuff for the customer and then either bring it to their car or the person will come in and grab it, whatever the case may be. Sam's Club does it. Like almost every grocery store does it now. And so this has grown tremendously really quick, especially with the apps coming out. I can't even think of an app. Instacart, all these different things coming out. Favor, I don't think Favor does. Yeah, Favor does do groceries. Um, all these different apps where they're working with the grocery stores, like, hey, I can get you customers, and we'll just have people come into the store, pick up these orders, and deliver it. And so you got people from apps coming in and doing the shopping for people, and then you also have people in the store also doing the same exact thing, shopping for people, getting the orders ready for either pickup or delivery. And so order fillers are growing. I think order fillers will continue growing because the apps are only going to get better. People are only going to get more lazy, right? And so that's definitely an opportunity to even, let that be a side gig, right? A side hustle while you're working on, whatever you're working on, while you're trying to create whatever you're trying to create, while you're trying to, be who you're trying to be, or even if it's just like, I need some extra money to pay off these bills, cool. That's an option for the weekends or after work. You can do that either, like I said, with an app, or you can just do that at the grocery stores themselves. Registered nurses, of course, 81K average income. Got to go through school, got to do all that. So that's something you're looking into. That's definitely an option as well. And then the last thing I want to give y'all is 3 different fields that I feel like are definitely going to grow, are definitely going to become a big deal in the near future. First thing is blockchain. What is blockchain? This is from the IBM website. Blockchain is defined as blockchain is a shared, immutable, basically it doesn't change, ledger that facilitates the process of recording transactions and tracking assets in a business network. An asset can be tangible, a house, car, cash, or land, or intangible, intellectual property, patents, copyrights, branding. Virtually anything of value can be tracked and traded on a blockchain network regarding risk and cutting costs for all involved. Right? I think this is very important technology because now it holds people accountable, right? And not just having banks hold people accountable, but now you don't need a person to hold. Um, you don't need a person to be, for accountability, right? So this very big in the financial space. So now, as far as peer to peer, just think of Cash App, think of Zelle, all these different things. Now you could send money instantly. It's already within seconds. It's put on the ledger, put on the blockchain, and that transaction is done. So rather than waiting, in which those apps are quick too. Those apps, you get it done, taken care of quick as well. But it's more important when you're sending lots of money, right? So now you could send, hundreds of thousands of dollars instantly without having to wait for the bank to receive it and then talk to their bank and then their bank and no, it's too much. So rather than doing all that, you could send these payments instantly, and the banks are really already using this with ISO 222. It's basically just an international financial standard that's rolling out, which already started rolling out, and so um, it's basically just a standard for transferring money between banks, right? Because, like I was saying with the example, it's just taking too long to send money bank to bank, right? And so with this ISO 222, it basically, decreases that time by a lot. And going back to the AI, it's the same exact concept. It's not completely replacing banks. It's not completely taking it away. No, but it is working together with banks to make a more efficient system, right? And so this stuff is already being used. Blockchain technology is already in place with, crypto and all these things. Bitcoin, that's the main one, and all these other cryptocurrency companies that are out there. There's one for, uh, I always blank. This is why I take notes. But what's it called? Logistics. One I invested in for logistics, like I said, finance. Like there's so many different use cases for blockchain that are already being used is where we're headed. So I think getting into the field of blockchain isn't a bad route to go, for sure. Next, virtual reality slash augmented reality. What's virtual reality? So virtual reality, think of just the glasses where you put it on and all you see is a screen, or all you see is the game, all you see is the video you're watching. It's basically like a movie screen in glasses, right? And then augmented reality, what that is basically like virtual information interacting with the real world, right? And so they're trying to get to the point to where you can just look at something and say, "Hey, what's the translation of this sign? What's the translation of this paper? What's this? What's that? What does this mean?" Right? And so we're trying to get to that point, and Google, Apple, all these people are already working on that, and it's on the way. And so that's augmented reality. If you didn't know the difference, that's the difference between VR and AR and what they stand for. And so I think these are going to become they're going to become a problem. But that's another story for another day. But they also will make a big dent and make a big dent in the market for sure. So keep that in mind. X Real glasses already in the market. You can look them up on Amazon. XREAL, $340. They're basically, from what I saw, basically just they're augmented, and so You could place a screen anywhere, and while you're doing something, while you're playing, learning an instrument, you could have the video playing right next to you. You know what I'm saying? With the glasses on, and so you could watch the video and play at the same time without having to have a computer or whatever the case may be. That's an option. Or if you're cooking, you could have the recipe on your glasses so you could see what you're doing and not have to be hands free, right? Meta has the Quest Pro already out, $1,000, right? But with those have the little joysticks, and so that's the difference between the Apple and the Quest Pro. I mean, there's obviously many more differences, but that's the big difference is the Quest Pro, they have the joysticks, while the Apple Vision Pro do not. Like I said, $1,000. And so this technology is already out. This technology is already being used, but a lot of circles, a lot of people aren't utilizing these things yet, because a, a lot of people aren't early adapters. A lot of people aren't, and that's why it's called early adapters. Is because it's a small group of people that are real excited about it, really want to jump on it, and so they'll buy before everybody else buys because they see the potential and they see the value in it before everybody else does. And then Apple. Apple Vision Pro 4 or Apple Vision Pro. These they came out with the announcement of these 4 months ago. And they're going to be $3,500, which is, I'm not going to say ridiculous. I haven't watched exactly everything that they can do, so I'm not going to say ridiculous. But it's a premium price, which is what Apple is known for, is being a premium phone, premium just device uh, company. And so I'm honestly not surprised that they're charging $3,500 for it. Understand, a lot of people aren't going to buy these. They're real expensive. A lot of people don't understand the technology. And so it's same thing. Early adopters, people who love Apple, they gonna attack it. They gonna get to it, and then a couple other people. Once the crowd dies down, once the lines aren't very long, wrapping around the stores, they gonna tell their friends. They gonna get it, and then I think a lot of people, a lot of families later on down the road will eventually get these, and that's why I say they're gonna be a problem, because now kids gonna want them. And so they parents gonna be saving for months, the whole year, just to get their kids these Vision Pros and all these different things. And it's just like, there's nothing wrong with it. I think that's where we're headed, but it's gonna make people more lazy. I think is what's gonna happen. So rather than going to the movies, or rather than doing all these things with friends and family, we just gonna throw on the headphones, or the goggles, I guess is what they call them, goggles, glasses. We watch the movie from here, and they probably gonna do some type of sharing where you can share and watch it with your friends. They just gonna do that. You can FaceTime from them. You can do everything you can with other Apple devices from them. But I just think it's going to be. I think it's gonna cause some problems, fam. And I know I'm going off tangents. I know I'm sliding from the video, or from the topic of the video, but I think this stuff is important. I think this stuff is cool, and it's definitely going to be interesting once some of these things do come out, or once some of these things do start to develop and become even better. But I definitely just wanted to take a sec to talk about some of these things, because they are important. Once Last thing I'm gonna say on these, I believe once the Vision Pros come out, a lot more people are probably gonna get the Meta's version, because they're so much more cheaper, and because of all the hype that Apple's going to get, and all the people that are gonna buy the Apple ones, there's gonna be that other section where it's like, I don't have $3,500, but I can put $1,000, or I can put, I don't. They got a cheaper version. I think it's $800. I'm gonna get the cheaper version and go with Meta's version. And so even more people are gonna get into it. And then once they, then once they understand, oh, okay, I really like this, and then they might make the leap and jump over to Apple. And so it's definitely going to be interesting in the next couple of years, uh, where VR/AR goes. And so, all that being said, wrapped up in a bow, I think VR/AR is not a bad route to go when it comes to jobs and future jobs. Last one, last but not least, cybersecurity. It's important. They are paying well, but that's because they'd rather pay you well to do your job well before a criminal comes and cyber attacks them, and it costs them a whole lot more money, right? So definitely consider, if you're in the tech, if you're into programming, if you're into hacking and all these different things, cybersecurity is definitely a good way to go. Understand MGM. What was this? This was last month, I believe, a couple months ago. But they got hit with a cyber attack that cost them what they believe to be $100 million, right? That's the estimated cost. Like, they talking about, they shut down keys to rooms, they shut down whole bunch of things, data leaks, like all these different things, and it cost the hacker hardly anything, right? And so you have $100 million worth of damage and all this stuff, and all the hacker had to do was find a vulnerability, get in, and execute, right? And so that's the reason why cybersecurity is so big. It's because the costs to do these crimes are so low, and they don't have to leave their house. They don't set up shop somewhere with their computer, do whatever they do, and boom. You know what I'm saying? And, there's whole organizations out there. Understand, the most important commodity a company has is their data. And they want to protect that data at all costs. Understand, in 2022, 5 million new businesses were started, and understand 35% make it past the 10-year mark. 5 million new businesses were started in 2022, and around 35% make it past the 10-year mark. After 10 years, you got some data on you. You need that data protected. And that's where cybersecurity analysts step in and help out, take care of that. And so understand, the market is there. MGM needed it, right? Companies needed it. My company needed it a couple years ago. So it's like, it's needed. These attacks are happening. They're going to continue happening. And we need people to step in and protect these companies, right? So those are the jobs to look out for. Those are the fields to look out for in the next coming months. I'm going to give a review real quick. Fastest growing: wind turbine, nurse practitioners, data scientists, information security analysts. Most new jobs: home health / personal care aides, software developers, cooks, stocks and order fillers, registered nurses. Fields that I believe will last / grow in the future: fields of blockchain, right? Specifically in finance. Virtual reality / augmented reality jobs. And last but not least, cyber security. So that's my take on jobs of the future, jobs that will last at least the next 10 years. But I believe it's going to be a lot further than that. Take these nuggets, run with them. I was about to say apply, but you know what I'm saying? It's totally up to you if you think this information was useful. If you're in, like I said at the beginning, in a situation where you feel like you want to change job, or later on down the road, you're like, I don't like this at all. I want to do something else. come back to this episode, listen to this episode again, and do your own research. There might be some stuff I miss, especially later on. There's gonna be new jobs and new opportunities later on down the road. So definitely be on the lookout for this stuff because you don't have to be stuck in the field that you're in. Yeah, it sucks that you went to school for it. Yeah, it sucks that you may have gotten a whole certificate for it, put all this time in, but it's better that you go back to school, or it's better that you become an apprentice, or it's better that you go through a boot camp and learn a new skill set, adapt to times, and still be able to chug through, make your bread, do what you got to do, and become successful than that, than be stubborn and stuck, where you started at and not fulfilled. So take that piece of advice, run with it, share it. There's a link down in the description if you want to donate to the podcast, $1, $5, or $10 every single month. Leave a review. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave that 5-star review. Follow the Instagram. That'll be down in the description as well. Follow my personal Instagram. And I will see you in the next episode. Peace.